Hello and welcome back to my channel. So a lot of people ask me, can extroverts experience social anxiety? At first I didn't know what to say to them because I didn't know the answer myself. I had no idea, but I was curious to know the answer. The answer is yes, in many cases extroverts do experience social anxiety. Yes, extroverts are loud, outgoing, and are filled with confidence, and it's usually the introverts who suffer from social anxiety. So if you're wondering how can a loud person who likes going to the parties suffer from social anxiety, then you are not alone. Majority of the people think the same. But what if I tell you that extroverts do suffer from social anxiety too? In fact, social anxiety can affect all the personality types, including introverts, extroverts, as well as ambiverts. Physical symptoms of social anxiety involves sweating, shaking legs, increasing heart rate, etc. Now most people think that it's only the introverts who experience social anxiety. They believe that it's impossible for the extroverts to experience it because the habits of extroverts are quite opposite than the habits of people who suffer from social anxiety. But you should know that just because someone is introvert doesn't necessarily mean they experience social anxiety, and just because someone is extrovert doesn't mean they don't experience social anxiety. Extroverts are full of confidence, but they aren't always confident. Sometimes in various situations they do experience social anxiety, but they tend to hide it. Those introverts and extroverts who suffer from social anxiety will experience terrible anxiety and nervousness in social situations. However, both of them have their own different ways of dealing with it. In a social situation, a person with introverted social anxiety will try to leave the party as soon as possible and find a place where they can't be noticed. When they go outside, they get this fear of being negatively judged by people. These people get nervous in public places and they are afraid of meeting new people. That's why it's difficult for them to approach people, so most of the time they try to avoid social interaction. But people with extroverted social anxiety will not try to leave the party. Instead, they'll try to hide their anxiety. They too get the fear of being negatively judged by people. They too get nervous in social situations. When they want to talk to someone, they think to themselves, oh, I want to talk to this person so bad, but I'm afraid I'll do something embarrassing. So what happens to them is, at first, this feeling of I'll do something embarrassing holds them back from approaching people. But since they are extroverts, socializing is something that they just can't resist. Just like introverts, they too need the energy to recharge themselves. So the feeling that I might do something embarrassing or I may end up looking awkward is not capable of keeping them from going to the party or talking to strangers for much longer. These extroverts end up joining social events despite getting nervous and anxious. But introverts who suffer from social anxiety, on the other hand, they either tend to avoid joining social events or spend a very short period of time socializing. Generally, introverts are very quiet. They like to be in their heads with their thoughts and ideas. They don't go outside not because they're scared of people, but because they're just not that interested. But things change when an introverted person is dealing with social anxiety. An introvert with social anxiety is a person who is very quiet and calm. These people find it difficult to strike up conversation, they don't join social events, and they avoid going to the parties. And it's not because they are not interested or they're having a hectic day, but because they get nervous and they get a lot of anxiety when they are outside. They try to avoid meeting people because of their anxiety and fear of getting judged by people. But extroverts with social anxiety will talk to people while hiding their anxiety. Unlike introverts, extroverts with social anxiety don't avoid going to the party. They don't find a place where they can't be noticed. They don't do these things because they are extroverts. Avoiding a social event is not what they like doing. So instead of being accompanied by solitary, they go to the event anyway and they try to approach people. They try to strike up conversation. They try their best to hide their anxiety during the conversation. However, these extroverts are not always good at hiding their anxiety. Therefore, sometimes they too end up looking awkward. And when they do something awkward, they start to show the symptoms of social anxiety, like getting their hands and feet shaking, starting to sweat, and cheeks turning red. But the good part is, despite getting hit by all the nervousness and fearful thoughts, they keep trying to hide their anxiety. They keep talking and they try their best to keep the conversation alive. Cause that's what they like doing. They like talking. They want to meet people. These are the things that an extrovert loves doing. So despite having social anxiety, they keep doing what they are meant to do. They are just like normal extroverts. The only difference is they struggle with social anxiety. But introverts with social anxiety avoid social interactions due to the anxiety and fearful thoughts. Now, I'm not trying to be like, oh, introverts are coward, always running away from their fear, while the extroverts are brave, always fighting their anxiety. No, that's not what I'm implying here. The whole point of this video is, number A, to let you know it's not always the introverts who suffer from social anxiety. Extroverts struggle with social anxiety too. Number B, to tell you the difference between introverted social anxiety and extroverted social anxiety. And number C, to let you know that both of them have same issues, but both of them have their own different ways of dealing with it. So at the end, it doesn't matter whether you are an introvert or an extrovert. If you suffer from social anxiety, then you should get some medication, or you can just watch some of my older videos where I have shared some very effective ways to overcome social anxiety. I'll put the link in description. There's a 90% chance that watching those videos will guide you, so do watch my videos. Anyways, I'm gonna cut it right here. I hope this video was helpful. I hope you absorbed some precious information from this video. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comment section down below. If you are still watching, you are doing a great job. Thank you for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.